Hello and welcome to Project Arnau. On today's video, I'm doing a deep analysis of the tale of Rumpelstiltskin. This one is part of my classic fairy tale series, playlist or whatever you want to call them. This time I'm drawing a dog, again trying on the manga style. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe, like, comment and share. Make sure you follow me on my socials. I always love interacting with you all links down below. Now, let's get started with the old tale of Rumpelstiltskin. The story tells about a miller who has a daughter. She is presented as a beautiful lady, but moreover, very shrewd and clever. I think those two words are synonymous, aren't they? Well, the important thing to know is that she's a smart cookie. Now, her father, the miller, was extremely proud of her. Oh, that's nice. Now, they lived by the side of a good. Not by the side of the good, by the side of a good, like singular. So, I don't know about you, but I'm picturing a tree, like just one. And get this, the king of that country liked to hunt in that wood. How? It's just one. Remember, these are not the good where there are multiple trees and the animals one might want to hunt live. But let's move on. As mentioned before, her father was extremely proud of her, to the point that one day while the king was hunting in the area, the miller approached him, told him that his daughter could spin gold out of a straw. And I love this because it's not like the king and the miller were talking about gold, straws and spins, then one thing led to another. No, the miller simply went to the king in the middle of his hunting to boast about her daughter. Now, here's where things get crazy, because the king actually believed the claims of the miller. The king, being a greedy person, took the girl to his castle, placed it in a room with lots of straws and a spinner. He gave her the indication of spinning it all into gold by morning, as she loved her life. So yeah, pretty messed up. She tried to explain that her father was being silly, but it was all in vain. As she wept for her ill fate, a hobgoblin showed up. After inquiring and finding out about the situation the poor maiden was in, he offered to spin the straws into golden for her in exchange of a gift. She offered her necklace. After agreeing to the deal, the hobgoblin performed the unusual task. By the way, dear viewer, this is what we call Deus Ex Machina, which is Latin for God of the Machine, which makes as much sense as this tale, but there is no time now to dwell into that. I will, however, make a Deus Ex Machina video in the near future. But for now, let's go back to the story. The hobgoblin completed the job. The next morning, the king saw the gold, which used to be straws. Then he decided to give her more straws, so she could do it all over again. Luckily for her, the hobgoblin offered to do it for her once again. This time, she paid for with the ring in her finger. Something I forgot to mention earlier is that while he did the job, the creature sang, roundabout, lo and behold, reel away, straight into gold. And I must say, it's a shame people do not sing while they work anymore. The next day, the king saw the gold and gave her even more straws to spin. However, this time added that if she performs the task, she will become his queen. He took her against her will 2 days ago, gave her an impossible job and threatened her life should she fail. All this motivated by greed. I don't think that's the kind of person one might want to marry, but to each their own. For the third time, the creator showed up and offered his services. However, this time the lady had nothing to pay with. Now, I don't know about you, but instead of asking for the straw spinning to gold, I'd ask for my freedom. Surely the hobgoblin could open the door and help her escape. But what actually happened is that he requested for the firstborn baby she might have once she became queen. She agreed with the deal. Okay, I understand she was on a hard spot, but still, offering your child just like that doesn't sound right. Also, the fact that after the first 2 days the king decided to marry her, I suspect the hobgoblin to be behind it all. I don't have proof, but I don't have doubts either. Anyway, the hobgoblin did the job as always. By the way, something worth mentioning, at times the hobgoblin is referred as a dwarf. Why? I have no idea. As far as I know, there are 2 different creatures. Maybe he's both, like his mother was a dwarf and his father a hobgoblin. Hard to know, but now you're picturing a dwarf and a hobgoblin dating, aren't you? So the daughter of the miller became the queen. Time passed and she gave birth to a baby. Then she forgot all about the hobgoblin. How? She was meant to be very clever. Look, I will admit I'm not always the smartest person in the room. I'm pretty sure I'd never forget something like that. Days later, the hobgoblin showed up while the queen was playing with her child. She cried and offered all the riches of the kingdom. Which, by the way, why didn't she offer that from the beginning? Like, first day was a necklace, second a ring, the third day, since she knew she became the queen, why not make such offer back then? But all of her pleas were in vain, until the creator softened and gave her an opportunity. If in the next 3 days she tells him his name, then he will let her keep her child. You know, For a tale that about someone's name, we haven't heard a single name. I have no idea what's the name of the king, or the queen, or her father the miller. Now, I have to make a confession. When I was a kid and read this tale for the first time, my first thought was, what could be his name? I know, I deserve the hugest face palm, like the name is right there in the title, but, well, the queen stayed awake all night, thinking all the odd names she ever heard, and she sent messengers all over the land to find new ones. Too bad, back then babynames.com wasn't a thing. The next day, the hobgoblin showed himself, and the queen began to throw in name after name, but none were the right one. The next day, she tried with all comical names she could think of, one of which was Bandylegs. I'm not going to lie, now I want to create a character named Bandylegs. Alas for the queen, that and all other names she said weren't the right one. The third day, one of the messengers came back. God knows what happened to the others. He didn't hear of any new names, but as he climbed a high hill among the trees of the forest, where the fox and the hare bid each other good night, well, that's nice, sort of unrealistic even for a fairy tale standards, but still nice, the messenger saw a hut, and before the hut a burning fire, and around the fire a funny little dwarf dancing upon one leg and singing, merrily the feast I'll make, today I brew, tomorrow I'll bake, merrily I'll dance and sing, for next day will a stranger bring, here does my lady dream, Rumpelstiltskin is my name. Now, dancing and singing around a fire in the forest may seem like a weird thing to do, but hey, as long as you're mindful about the fire and don't let it spread, don't knock it until you try it, could be fun. And I suspect Rumpelstiltskin got the idea from Surprise Adventure, which gives you plenty of different adventures to enjoy on your own or even better with your loved ones. Plus, it's not only the adventure, you also get plenty of discount vouchers. Get your Surprise Adventure book with 10% off by using the code Miguel10, link in the description. When the queen heard this, she jumped with joy. Soon later, the little guy showed up. The queen sat down upon her throne, called all her court round. Then she intentionally started giving grown names, just to make him believe he'll take the child. Then, right at the last attempt, she said slyly, "Can your name be Rumpelstiltskin?" And I must give credit when credit is due, because as evidenced by this video, I will have said it wrong. Well, Rumpelstiltskin cried out, a witch told you that. I don't know where he got that idea, not that it matters, but he got so angry that he stomped his foot on the floor so hard that he needed help to take it out. Don't you hate when you're throwing a tantrum and your foot gets stuck in the floor? Then all of the court jeered at him. "We wish you a very good morning and a merry feast, Mr. Rumpelstiltskin." Well, that's a happy ending. Well, maybe not so happy for Rumpelstiltskin. I thank you for watching, hope you have enjoyed, and I wish you will come back next time. Bye bye.